good? My name is Jamo, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this cool displacement map transition in After Effects, and you guys can definitely apply this knowledge to other editing programs, but today I'm going to be using the built-in displacement map effect. And let's just hop into After Effects and get started here. So I've got these two clips of PR right here. I'm just going to be transitioning from this one into this one, and as you can see, the second clip is overlapping the first one just a little bit. So what I'm first off going to do is just make this clip invisible, and I'm going to add the displacement map effect to the first clip here, and then I'm just going to rename this second layer, call it 2, and I'll name this one 1 right there, and I'll just set the displacement layer to number 2 right there. And then as you see here, when I start displacing this, it's going to displace this to the second clip. So displacement maps are really simple. Basically, you have the displacement map effect on one layer, and then you set the input to a different layer, and then it displaces to that layer. Displacement maps are extremely simple, but people really don't simplify it that easily. For some reason, people like to overcomplicate displacement maps, but it's literally just as simple as moving a button over. Like it's literally as simple as setting the input and then increasing the value like that. It's literally that simple. So somewhere at the beginning of my clip, I'll just set the max horizontal displacement, or you could do the vertical as well, but I'm just going to do the horizontal. So I'll set that at 0, and then later in the clip, maybe at the end here, I'll just push this over all the way, and I was thinking that somewhere around 900 looks good. And then go ahead and just click wrap pixels around. That's going to go ahead and get rid of these black spaces right here. And then when you have your layer selected, go ahead and click U on your keyboard, U for use, and then highlight your keyframes and easy ease them with F9. And that's going to create a bit of a smooth little displacement map like that. And then you can go ahead and also pull up your graph editor and then mess with the speed graph a little bit, maybe by pushing this value over, or maybe push it over this way, I think will be nice, so that it kind of slowly eases into the effect right there. So I have something that looks like this for now. And then before we start messing with the second clip, we're actually just going to go ahead and render this out. So go ahead and export this clip as is. And as you guys can see here, I'm editing in quarter quality instead of full quality, just to save me time as always. And you know, always just go ahead and clear your cache, just so you guys can free up some space and make sure that After Effects is running as smooth as it can. Alright, so I have this clip rendered out. I can just go ahead and get rid of that for now, and then drag in the clip I just rendered out and drag it underneath the second clip. So now I have something that looks like this right here, and I can go ahead and extend my render. And then now for the second clip, what I will do is make it visible, and I'll now add on another displacement map effect, except I'm going to apply it to this layer. And then I can rename these clips again, so I'll name this one 1.5, and then this one will still be number 2, and just ignore this one over here for now. And then go ahead and bring both of these values down to 0 for horizontal and vertical displacement, because for some reason its default position is on 5, but it's going to kind of create just a slight little bump in there that's kind of annoying. So just make sure that those are starting out on 0. And then for this input, I'm going to set this to 1.5 that I just renamed. And now on the first frame right here, I'm going to set a keyframe, and it's very important that you don't move this second clip here at all, because we just rendered out the first clip and it's basically embedded into this first clip already. So make sure that you're not gonna, you know, move this clip around or anything. So on this first frame right here for the second clip, I'm going to set a keyframe for max horizontal displacement, and then set it at the same value. At the end of the clip for my first clip, I set it to 900. So same here for the first frame on the second clip, I'll just set that to 900 again. And then later in the clip, I'm going to bring the max horizontal displacement back down to 0, just like that. So now the second clip is displacing to the first clip as the first clip is displacing to the second clip. It's actually really simple. That just sounded complicated. Then now you can click wrap pixels around for this one as well, but I'm actually not. I'm just going to leave it as is. You guys are familiar with this effect if you guys watched the card dance displacement transition that's kind of similar to this effect, but using the card dance effect. If you guys haven't watched that tutorial, definitely go tune into that. That's one of my favorite effects I've made. And this is just kind of similar to that, but using displacement maps instead. So on the first frame of the second clip, again, we're going to set a keyframe for threshold, and then just bring this up to the max 255 value, and that's just going to make it disappear. This is kind of like a fade out effect, so just leave that at 255 on the first frame, and then on the last frame bring it down to about 8, and then pull up your used keyframes by clicking U on your keyboard. Go ahead and highlight those keyframes, easy ease them with F9 or right click, go to keyframe assistant and click easy ease. And if I'm going a little bit too fast for you guys, that's just because I want you guys to edit as fast as me, and you guys can always, you know, pause and keep running it back as many times as you need here. And then when it comes to the Luma key effect, I'm just going to highlight this one and then pull up my graph editor again, go to the speed graph, which, by the way, if you don't see it, you can just click this little drop down right here and it'll pull up either the value graph, which is this bad boy right here, or the speed graph. Either works, both are great. I just like using the speed graph. And what I want to do here is highlight this right little handle right here and pull this over this way. And what that's going to do is just kind of speed it up a little bit, and then maybe the right handle I'll pull over just a little bit like that. So now basically both clips are meshed together, as you can see here. If I just run that back, they're kind of displacing into each other, so this definitely looks really cool. And then I find that the more that you mess with the speed graph for making it as smooth as possible for both effects, so the displacement map effect and the Luma key effect, I really like messing with this effect. It's definitely one of my favorites to play with. And then I think it's really important to kind of blast up the edge feather a little bit. It's just going to kind of smooth out those edges and not make everything look as harsh. And then in this example up here on the screen, the way that I made this kind of coloration effect, I just created an adjustment layer and then added on the HLS color balance effect, and then kind of as that clip starts to displace, set the hue at the default 0 position, and then later in the clip right around here I'll set the hue to about 1, so I have it go through 1 rotation on that first value right here. And as you can see, that's going to kind of create some nice little coloration. And then as well, again, you can always just go in, play with your speed graph a little bit, which I think will definitely make it look a lot better, so something like that. And then you can also add on a glow, and then it's super important to just go ahead, duplicate your adjustment layer, delete that effect, and add on RSMB, which is not a free plugin or anything. It is paid, not sponsored, but this is definitely something that I would recommend. So if I go into full quality right here, you'll be able to see pretty well. When I take off motion blur, it looks like this, and when I put motion blur on, it looks like this. So it's just going to kind of make the effect look a lot smoother with kind of artificially made motion blur that looks really, really, really nice. And if you guys enjoy stuff like this, make sure to check out my website. I do have a special promo going on right now that's not going to be lasting for much longer. So if you guys actually add any bundle to your cart and any editing pack of your choice, you'll get the editing pack of your choice for completely free if you check out with both of those. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, man, have a great rest of your day. Peace.